Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Malik. It has been a while, obviously because of the holidays and stuff. So I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, Black Friday, whatever you celebrate. Hope you had a good time and enjoyed it with family. Now let's get into it because over the break, the Grizzlies actually did pretty. The Grizzlies are doing really, really good right now. And honestly, I really don't have any complaints. The Grizzlies have won 5 of their last 6 games, with the most recent being last night against the Sacramento Kings. The Grizzlies won 115 to 107. This game was close, but a good fourth quarter for the Grizzlies really put them in a good position to win this game. So that's all I really have to say about that. Zach Edey impressed everybody. 32 points, 17 rebounds. Honestly, that's Purdue Zach Edey, and he had a plus minus a plus 25 in 29 minutes. We genuinely saw Purdue Zach Edey back in full form, and I was here for it. Other takeaways: Jalen Wells. We're gonna get into him to later. He played really, really good. 15 points, 4 or 5 from the field, 3 or 3 from three, plus 21 as well on the court. Jaren did solid, 13, 6 and 5. Looking at Cedric Coward, 10 points. Santi didn't really shoot the ball that much this game, and actually it was really the second unit was not doing good. Outside of John Conchar and Cam Spencer and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, second unit really didn't do as good this game. In fact, actually the team was way worse with Santi and Jock Landale on the court. So I'm glad to see that they really didn't play as many minutes as they usually would. So that was a good adjustment by Islo right there. The only thing with Islo that really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was his. Excuse me, it's kind of early. Only thing was that really killed me by Islo. The Kings starting unit is just something that I truly don't understand. Looking at the box score, their bench did miles better than the starting unit. It's actually ridiculous to look at. But one thing about Isla that really kind of threw me off was, I say it threw me off, but at this point I'm really used to it. The rotations and the time of the rotations really just weren't good to me. He did adjust later in the game, but it just wasn't good initially. But he figured it out. Vince Williams Jr. also did not play good shooting the ball. He did distribute it pretty well and play good defense. So nothing really outside of shooting, nothing really to complain about. Grizzlies didn't shoot many threes. It felt like at one point they were settling after going 5 for 5 in the first quarter from three. And then they started settling for a good period. But after a while, they changed up the game plan. And they played the game that we're used to seeing. The game that's, they're willing to win. The only other thing about this game that the Grizzlies really, really struggle with, turnovers. 23, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the most in a game this year for the Grizzlies, and they still find a way to win this game. So, other than that, I really don't have much to say. They dominated the rebounds. Really have to cut back on those turnovers, though, because if this is any other team, unlike the Kings, you're going to have a hard time winning that game. As far as the other games go, I'll just take a look at them, just give you a quick rundown of it because we're not going to go into every single one of them. But the last game before that, the Clippers. Jaren played a good game. They got a good win, honestly. Obviously, this was the NBA Cup. Grizzlies did not advance, so they actually have 2 more games added to the schedule in December. We'll get into those. In the Clippers game, I believe Zach Edey had 19 rebounds. Jaren had 24 in that game. Shot very efficient from the field. He was the guy that really stood out the most to me in that game right there. Obviously, Kawhi did what he usually does. You found a way to prevent him from really taking over the game, so that was something that really was good right there. And then the Pelicans game. This game went into overtime, and I do want to talk about this game real quick, like really briefly. I think this game shouldn't have even went into overtime. It shouldn't have went into overtime. Obviously, Jan played good. Cedric Howard played good. Jaden Wells played good. Zach Edey played good. The starting unit played really, really good this game. The part I didn't understand, this is another thing, the second unit was getting absolutely cooked, and then the Pelicans were shooting really good from three-pointers. Like, Jose Alvarado had 6 this game, and Jordan Hawkins had 4. Both of those off the bench. But one thing that really killed me with this game was it shouldn't have been this close. if I'm being honest. It should not have been this close. And the reason I say that is because we'll talk about that last play specifically. And I forgot to point out, Vince Williams Jr. did have 17 assists in the game against the Pelicans. What really killed me about this game was the fact that Zach Edey was out on that last possession that Zion made the layup. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that because it's like, okay, okay, I would rather take my chances with someone getting beat off the dribble by Zion, which did end up happening. I'd rather somebody get beat off the dribble, play the perimeter for whoever Edey was going to cover, and just take your chances with Zion pressing him at the rim. Honestly, Edey was dominant this game defensively. He had a plus-minus of plus 39. The impact of Zach Edey is really, really, really showing. And I think Islo underestimated it right there. I get it. You wanted to guard the three and prevent them from winning the game. But in that moment, I think we all knew they were going to attack the rim the moment Edey was not in the game. And I think overall, they were going to play through Zion. So I think it's just a minor mishap right there. Could have led to something a little major, but the Grizzlies stuck it out, got the win, and hey, winners of 5 of the last 6. Now, with that being said, let's be real. I do think the Grizzlies are finding their groove, but I'm still yet to be impressed. The reason I've yet to be impressed is because if we look at it, like I'm being honest, if we really just look at the teams that they're playing, none of these teams are above 500. That is my only skepticism with this entire thing. I mean, let's just talk about it. The Pelicans, 3-18. The Kings, 5-16. The Clippers, 5-15. All 3 of those teams I just stated are the bottom 3 teams in the Western Conference. Teams that we should easily beat, but we underestimate them because this team started off struggling mightily. But even then, you go to the previous games before that. I mean, let's just be honest. It's early, y'all. It is like 8 o'clock in the morning, so forgive me. But let's just be honest about it. So we look at it. Obviously, Kings, Clippers, Pelicans, not really good. The Nuggets, pretty good team. Mavericks, literally the 11th seed. And then you have, what was it, the Kings again. So if you put it into perspective, the Grizzlies went on a road trip. Well, not a road trip, but the Grizzlies essentially played the 4 lowest seeded teams in the Western Conference right now. Teams that are probably going to have lottery picks. And they won. Like I said, with the circumstances of this team, I do appreciate a win. I'm not going to deny a win is a win. But at the same time, I am not impressed. I'm not impressed. Obviously, I'm impressed by individual play. But as far as the team, nothing about this makes me think, oh, we're back to being a threat. It doesn't give that. So, yeah, I think they're finding their form. But overall, like I said, until I see a team that we can just simply look at and be like, okay, that team was a good opportunity. That was a good, really good win. I've yet to be impressed. And they have the opportunity as I believe tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow they play the Spurs in San Antonio. So it's like there's your opportunity right there. You got a team above 500, well above 500 actually. Yes, they don't have Victor, but they didn't have Victor the last time, and you kept it close. So I think you learn from that last game, and you take it and you take what you can and get it going. But other than that, until they beat a team that's above 500, it's hard for me to just be like, you know, the Grizzlies are back to being a threat. But now who is back to being a threat? Let's talk about it. Mr. Jalen Wells. In the offseason, I said he was the X factor. He was a guy that was going to be very, very, very vital to this team's offensively and defensively. That was pre-Cedric Coward, of course. But let's talk about it. Not Cedric. What's his name? Jalen Wells played pretty good. I can't even lie. In this previous games, though, let's just talk about the ones that we weren't able to cover due to the holiday. Against the Pelicans, he looked really good. He had 25 points, 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3. He had some really, really clutch buckets. I liked what I saw from Jalen Wells, and a lot of those shots were off the dribble. They weren't even catch and shoot. So I liked what I saw from Jalen Wells that game. Yeah, really no complaints about that one. The Clippers game, he did struggle a little bit from the field. 2 of 7, 1 of 6 from 3. He did get to the free throw 8 times and made all 8. 6 rebounds, 13 points. Overall, pretty good game. He did what he could in the moments that he did, so I will always appreciate that. And one thing I will admire about Jalen Wells, and I really think this is why he needs to play more minutes, he is a true Iron Man. I think, obviously last year, if that freak injury doesn't happen against the Hornets and he's out going into the playoffs, I think Jalen Wells has the potential to be what a Mikal Bridges is. He just has that kind of impact that really makes you admire him. So I think we really just need to appreciate Jalen Wells, and I think he does deserve more minutes when it comes down to it. Now, and then against the Kings last night, 15 points, 3 from 3, 4 or 5 from the field. He hit a lot. He was really, really going in this game. I have no complaints about Jalen Wells. Even Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer looked really good last night. I got to be honest. I was going to say at one point, Cam Spencer needs more minutes, genuinely. I mean, the shots that he was hitting against the Kings, I'm like, okay, this guy's a hooper. We do this, but he's really hooping. 4 or 5 from 3, and it was a point in that first half he was on a heater. And he's overall shooting really good from 3. I'm looking at his last 5 games. Against the Mavericks, 3 of 5. 3 of 6 against Denver, 3 of 4 against the Pelicans, 2 of 5 against the Clippers, 4 of 5 against the Kings. Cam Spencer is a hooper, and he is a vital three-point shooter. He's shooting 46% from 3 this year. That is insane, especially for a guy that's coming off the bench shooting at the volume that he is. This is a guy who's taking, I'm looking at it right now, about 5 threes a game, and he's shooting 46%. It's about time we give Cam Spencer more minutes, especially as Jalen Wells is on the rise and finding his groove again. Not saying he needs to be in the starting lineup, but Cam Spencer definitely deserves some more minutes. Now, we got to talk about him again. I got to be honest. We got to talk about him again. I have been avoiding this topic. Well, let me not say I've been avoiding it. I've been avoiding the tone of this topic, but let's talk about it. Is it time for the Grizzlies to move on from Jaren Jackson Jr.? I'm going to give 2 answers. I'm going to give a hot take answer, and I'm going to give a realistic answer. Let's start with the hot take answer. If I really didn't have any bias, if I wasn't like a person that was worried about what I say to the media and all this and that, if I had to be honest, and I'm being so for real when I say this, the Grizzlies do need to move on from Jaren Jackson Jr. The hardest part is you paid him all that money. The reason I think the Grizzlies need to move on from Jaren Jackson Jr., this is my hot take opinion, by the way. In 19 games, Jaren Jackson Jr. averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds a game, 4 fouls, and he's shooting 47% from the field, 36% from 3. Once again, I would not complain about this too much if he wasn't paid the money that he was given. It is hard for me to just be like, oh, Jaren to figure it out. He's figuring things out, all this and that. No, I'm sorry. You're getting paid $240 million. I'm sorry. The imaginary the line that I have set for Jaren, it's hard for me to just be sympathetic for him. If I'm being real, you have to step it up. And being honest, seeing what we saw from Zach Edey last night, I'm going to give you Zach Edey's stat line. Once again, I'm going to give you Zach Edey's stat line, and you tell me what you think. Last night against the Kings, we're just going to work our way up this. In 29 minutes, a plus minus a plus 25. 17 rebounds. 5 blocks. He did have 4 fouls. 32 points. 16 of 20 shooting from the field. Not a single three was attempted. His only really downside, he missed his only free throw. Other than that, Zach Edey was unstoppable. The problem with that is, we want that out of Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. played 34 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Just being honest, Jaren has to genuinely get to a point where he needs to be able to dominate the game. And I'm sorry to say it, in year 8, he's not doing it. And I don't see it happening anytime soon. Got to call a spade a spade. If you can find a way to move on from Jaren Jackson Jr., and I'm being serious, if the Grizzlies can find a way to move on from Jaren Jackson Jr., I'd say do it. I would say do it. Because Zach Edey showed me something that I've been waiting for years to get from Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, let's just be real. We've been waiting for years, and we still ain't got it. So, yeah, that's my hot take opinion on this. Yeah, that's my hot take on that. Now, if we're being real, I think you wait it out. Now, I don't think you wait out the 5 years unless he just instantly becomes that guy again. Because we know we've literally seen Jaren Jackson Jr. be able to put his name in as an all-NBA caliber player. He just doesn't want to do it. So it's hard for me to feel sympathetic for the guy who played at an all-NBA level. He is the leader of this team because Ja Morant is out for, he's out for possibly another 2 weeks and maybe even longer than that. This is your opportunity to take over this team. We need that kind of performance basically every night. I'm sorry to say it. There is no excuse for you to not get a rebound. There's no excuse for you to not even, dominate the paint. I'm seeing Zach Edey do it. And the thing is, Zach Edey, yes, he's 7'4". He can essentially do a lot of things that people can't do without jumping. But the thing is, Zach Edey is playing the game that Jaren does. In the post, good little baby hook, going up for a lob. I don't see that happening with Jaren. I'm sorry to say it. I just don't see that happening with Jaren. I've given him grace. I've given Jaren Jackson Jr. way too much grace to the point where now it's we're harping on Jaren thing. No, bro, you are about to be nearing year 10. And I'm still seeing problems that happen in year 1 through 4. Come on, bro. Like, you got to call it for what it is. It's a different age, different era for you. You need to lock in, and you need to be that player that dominates. I don't know who you need to work with. I don't know who you need to tap into. If that means a personality change, do it. Because it will take this team way above the levels than we thought. And that's without Ja. That's without a true point guard. So, hey, every other power forward that's getting paid that money can do it. I need to see it out of Jaren. Zach Edey ain't even getting paid that much, and he's doing way better. You just got to call it for what it is. And this is not me discrediting Jaren because he has been playing pretty good. But I want to see Jaren be dominant. I need that. I want to see that, and we all want to see it. So hopefully we can get that, and hopefully something gives. Otherwise, I think you do find a way to get off that contract. If you can. If anybody even wants that contract. So that's my 2 takes on that. That's going to be a wrap on this edition. I would like to hear your take in the comments, and we'll talk about it in the next video. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when the next video comes out. We are almost at 700 subscribers, so really be sure to subscribe. It helps me out, and it helps the channel out in the future. So that's this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.